You can have your own business. You can have a 9 to 5. You can have your own franchises. You can have partners that are working with you for a common cause. Whatever your situation is, here's one catch about a 9 to 5 that we all have to remember. This is one thing that I learned the hard way. I didn't know that at the start, but I came to terms with it, of how it works actually, and how to navigate those kind of circumstances. There was a job that I was, as a new engineer, I was working the job, and in the job there was tremendous amount of work, and I remember working on the weekends. I remember having late nights sometimes to submit the bid packages. I remember doing every single thing in my power to make sure the work and the deadlines are met. I was making sure that the relationships with everybody are cordial. You're making sure everything is fine. On your end, it's like 100%. And then the next thing you know is something happened that everybody has a different attitude towards you. And that continues for a little bit of time. And soon after, you see the company that you worked for so long, they're having interviews for your position in front of your very eyes, and calling them to the boardroom to have interviews for your position. Now, what does that indicate? People are not speaking to you properly. That's number one. Number two is other people are being interviewed for your position. Number three is you're not been assigned that much work. What does that relate to? What is that heading towards? Lo and behold, I got a letter I got an email to come with all the gadgets from home and give that back. And essentially I was laid off. And I remember, because I had so much attachment to this workplace and I had given so much of myself to it, I was totally taken aback, in a very bad mental state, that I lost a job that I was so committed to. But here's the thing about the 9 to 5 then, and we have to remember this. There's no other options to understanding this. You have to understand this one thing. You can never be very truly emotionally attached to your 9 to 5. And the reason for that is this: you don't have control. You could be doing 100% of your work, but that is not enough. Perhaps your 100% is not enough for whoever's overlooking, because they have a certain bias, or maybe you're not their favorite, or it's outside of your control. You try to do your best, but just know that in a span of 5 to 10 minutes, there could be a decision made about your future and your career, just like that. And you have zero control. You could be maintaining cordial relationships. You could be great at communications. You could be great at performing the work. You could be doing great in deadlines. But the next thing you know is the market is down. There's some companies going through shortages. A company is going through bankruptcy. A company is going through losses, major losses. Something is going on that's completely outside your control. And the next thing you know is like you're laid off. And if that transpires at your home, and that is ruining your daily life with your family, then just know that that kind of consequence is, you have to control that. You cannot let that kind of consequences, those kind of consequences, be affecting your family life or the quality of your life as a whole. Because no matter how hard you try, there are positions that would not think a second before laying you off. And I was on the other side of it. I was there, right? That was 2 years ago. And I remember I was in a very bad mental state for quite a bit of time, just because it was hard for me to deal with it. I couldn't believe that happened to me. But here's the thing: when you are in a 9 to 5, you have to remember this: you can't be emotionally attached. Just because you don't have control, of what happens. You could be doing 100%, but there could be, I don't know, peers, politics, company shortages, a company going in negative numbers, they're not making as much profit, they don't have any projects, you name it, the market's down, you name it. So there could be something, and if that happens, you cannot let that affect you, period. No matter whoever you are, you're a girl, you're a guy, you're 22, you're 28, you're 36, you just cannot let that dictate the course of your life, because if you do, then you're directly giving your emotional space to someone or a company or an entity that does not think more than 5 minutes before laying you off, or giving you a call that you no longer have to come to that place. It's horrible, but that's one of the lessons I learned the hard way. You cannot be relying on a 9 to 5 for your happiness, because if you do, then if they drop you, you're just gonna feel really low, and that's not the place you want to be. Small talk, not a guru or an expert at anything, but here's my take on your jobs. This is what I feel, this is what I experience, and I think there are people out there who will benefit from this. So if you resonated, like and comment, let me know what you think, and come back with more lessons learned the hard way. Until next time.